The fuck's that mean?
Like, you just kind of...
Like your blood pressure's too high? Or?
I mean, a health-related break. I mean, what? You train for health. You know what I'm saying? So if you're taking a break, that's not fucking health-related.
Get the fuck up. Simon says, get the fuck up. Throw your hands in the sky.
Okay. I'm going to assume that what we're talking about here is somebody's injured.
Right.
Okay? And they're not able to train the way that they would typically train. So how do you maintain the strength from that? Well, once you're injured enough, there's different ways to do that. So let's do this. Since you're coming back from a quad injury, well, how did you maintain strength? And before I even throw this question at him, you need to understand you're not going to maintain 100% strength. I mean, that's a fallacy kind of to begin with. Nobody's going to maintain 100% strength after the meet's over. That already has to be readdressed. So some people, depending upon their methodology and philosophy, will try to maintain 80% strength and then ramp into that 100% strength. So if Dan is in an off-season type period, his maintained strength mode may be 70% strength of what it would be competitively. So I want to throw that out there because that changes the definition of strength, because that max strength changes throughout the year. So how do you maintain after you're hurt and you've already dealt with the mental aspect of that injury sucks? You know, what do you do to try to keep the other, just to stay close enough to get ready to train for another meet?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, that the last thing you said is what I did the last couple times around, where I just kind of healed up for the most part from injuries, where I could start training for a meet. And, you know, I was able to train just fine, but in the end, it's just like the results were not really what I wanted. So, you know, it's like you just do the best you can. Mm-hmm. As far as maintaining strength and size, to me, this is not really something I focus on that much, because when my goal is to return, get healthy, start training again, build up, and then when I train for a meet, my goal would, of course, like any other lifter, be to surpass the numbers I've hit in the past. See, I know already I have the technique and I have the coordination to lift weights I've lifted before, and that's not something that you kind of forget. So the muscle memory that's there, that still governs like how strong you can get pretty quickly after you start training and building size and strength back. As far as just which I think is maybe a little more of a short-sighted goal of I would just want to maintain strength and size. I mean, if you can go to the gym and do 50% of your exercises, or 25 or 75, I mean, whatever you can do, you can just do that. You know, if I've had a injury to one part of the body, if I want, I'll train, you know, the upper body or lower body more. And usually I will try to eat more of like a surplus of food while I'm injured, because I'd rather, it's less unpleasant to starve myself. Yeah, so I just try to, you know, eat so I'm not losing muscle just by starving myself. And honestly, I'm just kind of patient. So I don't really concern myself too much with, you know, how well I perform while I'm hurt.
Yeah, I think a way to kind of summarize that up is you got to keep the end game in mind. You know, the end game is whatever your next meet's going to be.
Yeah.
So why in the fuck are you concerned with your strength and size when you should be concerned with your rehab? You know, because the first step is to be able to restore range of motion in the injury that's in the injured area, and then to develop the injured area so you don't re-injure it again. I mean, there's a lot of phases that have to happen before you get on the platform again, and not one of those phases is really strength and size for a while. You know, the key thing, and I correspond more with advanced lifters than I really do anybody else, and that would be a question that they really don't know how to answer, like he just kind of stumbled through, because they don't care. What they care about is getting healthy so they can compete again. And then when that time comes, display strength the best way possible. So I think there might be some mixed goals going on with the person asking the question, and they need to decide what the fuck they're training for, and then they kind of focus on that and stay on that path instead of trying to take two roads, you know. And that's fine if they want to do that. They're just not going to perform at their highest level doing that way.